John, what's the message to the team after a tough stretch of games?
To be honest, I didn't talk to them. I don't talk to them after losses. Only when something, because they already know. You know, they're a bunch of pros and a bunch of good leaders. They don't need to hear. There's nothing I can say to make it feel better. So I've kind of done that in the past, and I thought they played extremely well for 50 minutes. So unfortunately, didn't get the break or the results we want, but you know, the style of play was good.
What did Syracuse do differently, or if anything, that they did differently on the penalty kill to make sure you guys couldn't capitalize?
Well, I thought they did. We scored 2 goals yesterday on that back door, and they laid their defensemen down, so it was a little bit harder to get that pass through. But again, you got to take what they now. If that's the case, we got to put it back up top and just keep shooting pucks and hopefully get second efforts. They had 11 chances. You know, the power play had some really good looks. They just unfortunately didn't get it done at the end of the game.
Like you said, they're all pros. You guys have experience as well. But what's the process like for people that don't know on moving on, just focusing on the next game?
Well, again, it's next day. You know, it's like the next up mentality. The next day, we can't sit and dwell on things. We got to learn from our games, and we always have to get better and find it, fix it, and forget it. But at the end of the day, we can't sit and hang our heads too long because it's a tough league, and if you do that. It's going to be a long season, so we got to continue to keep that positive reinforcement with our players. And it's some, key guys. Some big guys took some big hits tonight, and at the end of the day, we'll get a day off, and then we'll go back to work on Monday.
As a coach, what does it mean for you to see the guys put their bodies on the line like that? You know they have the commitment there. It's just not coming through in the results.
Well, again, we want to take this. This isn't just a now result thing. This is something that we want to build on for the end of the season. At the end of the day, we want to be in the playoffs, and we want to go look back at these times and moments and say, man, that's what helped us propel us get to where we are right now. So that's all we can do.
Wondering if you have any status on Alex Steves and his progression?
I do not. He's got an upper body injury, and he's unfortunately wasn't able to play. So hopefully it's nothing too serious, and we see him back sooner than later.
After 2 games, what's it been like to have Rich Clune with you guys? And just curious how it all came together to get Rich Clune behind the bench in the first place.
He's a big part of the developmental staff. We have a really good developmental staff, and he was the guy that we needed someone to help out with the forwards, and he was available. And we had long conversations with him, and it just made sense. He's got great energy. He's positive. He understands from a player's perspective. He's freshly removed. Only it's been a year, and at the end of the day, I'm glad he's on board, and he's going to help us with a lot of insight. And I think the players enjoy having him around as well.
After you called that timeout, that the power play started clicking together, and was that power play actually working the way you expected it to do, even though it didn't convert? Is it going the way?
It did. I mean, with what we saw what they were doing, and we wanted the puck in Bruiser's hands, and then he had to come down and make a decision whether to put it to the net or slide it to Bellows or Topi, or he has three reads, and then they have to. When they get in those moments, they have to trust their instincts. So we had it set up the way we wanted to, and we had a couple looks. But again, our guys worked. I'm not going to sit here and say that they did everything they tried to give themselves a chance to win.
Do you have any update on Ellis or Gambrell?
I do not. Ellis took a pretty hard hit there, and Gammy had to leave the game in the first. So I just hope they're okay. They're a big part of this team, and hopefully we get good news.
Tommy, what's the messaging to the guys after a loss like that, especially from the vets in the room?
I think it's getting back to working hard in the little things. When you work hard, things kind of tend to fall into place, and when you do the right things tend to go your way. So right now it's about going back to the details, small things, getting your checks, good sticks, good gaps, crisp passes, and then things will follow our way. So we know when we play well and we play our game that we can beat any team in this league, and it's just about getting back to that.
I know a shorthanded goal can cloud this, but you guys did outshoot them 19-7 in the third period. Were there parts of that third period that really felt like the Marlies hockey you guys know?
Yeah, I think even in the second period we played our game, and into the third, and with those power plays, that 5 minute at the end, I thought there's a lot of belief in the locker room going into the third period that we were going to be able to get this win.
Zach Solo had a great play to get Logan that pass for the goal that you guys had. How have you seen Solo develop? I know he was called up last year with the Growlers. How have you seen him develop this season?
I've spent a lot of time with him. Me and him have gotten to be pretty close even last year and going into this year. Carries a lot of weight in the locker room, always brings a lot of energy. You know, you could be at the rink early in the morning on a practice day and he's bringing a ton of energy, and he brings that on the ice. You can see it. He plays with a lot of passion, and it's contagious around the other guys. So that he brings it on and off the ice every day.
For you, just hearing kind of stories from some of the other guys about Rich Clune and his time with the Marlies, what's your perspective on him joining the coaching staff and what he can bring?
It's great. He has a different dynamic in coaching where some of these guys have played with him and have good relationships with him. I didn't get to play with him, but I was here a little bit, get to know him. Great guy, great player, and he'll carry that in the coaching. Great, like I said, great relationships, great communication between the team and the coaches, and I think he'll fit right into the coaching style. He's made for it.
This Syracuse team is kind of a rival to you guys in your division. 2 losses like this, some tight games and some really hard-fought games. How much does that light a fire under you guys for the next time you come across this team?
I think it's a big, with how things are going right now, I think it hurts a little bit more that they are that close, and we do see them a lot during the season. Close games, you know, you wish that you could just get rid of a period or 10 minutes of a game, but you can't do that. You got to play a full 60 to win, and like I said earlier, whenever we're playing our game, we could beat any team in this league.